This was the scene nearly 9 months ago to the day. December 3rd, 2005, the Georgia Bulldogs captured their second SEC football championship under Mark Richt. They raised that banner high. And speaking of seconds, this will be the second consecutive year the Georgia Bulldogs open with a new quarterback under center. This year, it'll be Joe Tarashinsky III. And the fans have turned out nearly 92,000 for our All-Tell Game of the Week here in Athens, Georgia, as Western Kentucky from Bowling Green, Kentucky, make their way to Athens to meet the 15th ranked Georgia Bulldogs. And 2012. And there is his counterpart, Mark Richt. Amazing what he has been able to do with this Georgia program. 2 SEC titles, 4 straight years in the top 10. Of course, the 02 and 05 SEC Coach of the Year. So Western Kentucky, as Buzz said, won the toss. They defer, so Georgia will receive. Thomas Brown from the goal line. Brown to the 20, to the 25, runs over one Hilltopper to the 30 and the 32 before he is stopped right there by Rashad Etheridge. Well, Dave Rowe, let's take a look at our Toyota keys to this game.
Well, Dave, they're big. For Western Kentucky, it's climb the hill. It's a huge opportunity. They need to scratch, claw, dig, and get to the top. No 3 and outs, and they have to look for an opportunity late to win. For Georgia, it's running with the Bulldogs. The way you take pressure off a quarterback is to run the ball. They've got great depth, and Thomas Brown is #1.
So Joe Tarashinsky takes the handoff, or gives the handoff to Thomas Brown, who loses a couple of yards. Blake Boyd, transfer from Louisville, steps in and from his outside linebacker spot to make the first initial hit for the Hilltoppers.
Boy, penetration. Look how quick Western Kentucky is in that backfield. That's what you want to do for that 34 defense. It was Boyd who was just darting through there.
There's Tarashinsky. They call him Joe T in these parts. Senior from right here in Athens, Georgia. Looking at a 2nd and 13. That handoff goes to Brown. He spins his way back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard more, so about a 4-yard pickup. As we look at our Chevrolet starting lineups for this afternoon, this is a group that certainly has some big play potential. Thomas Brown will be the #1 tailback, although depth is certainly something Georgia does not lack in the tailback department. This offensive line should be pretty good, but they're only working with about 6 guys because of some suspensions for the first couple of games, so not a lot of depth right now up front for the Bulldogs. Little screen pass looking for Brown. He has got all day. Good tackle in the open field. Dennis Mitchell, the senior from Indianapolis, Indiana. Looked like he was going to be picked off out there in the open field, but he sheds one offensive player and makes a tremendous tackle, bringing up 4th down.
Watch number 21 to the right of your screen. Look at the blockers out front. Now watch him just come in there. Look at that dart in from the outside. If Mitchell doesn't get him there, that play may go a long way.
So Gordon Ely Kelso will step in. Back deep is Dennis Mitchell, the man who just made the play. Mitchell, a good return man. Ely Kelso last year averages 43 yards per kick, but what was amazing, almost 41 net. Not a lot of returns. And that's part of the reason why. Good punt coverage by the Georgia Bulldogs. Ramarcus Brown, the cornerback, able to make the tackle, a 46-yard punt, a 4-yard return. Our Chevrolet offense of lineup for the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky. LaRon Moore, folks, keep an eye on him. He is a good one. 2,000-yard rushing seasons, closing in on the school all-time rushing record, about 450 yards shy of that mark. Up front, these guys are pretty big by 1AA standards. They go 310, 285, 290, 295, 280 up front. So not a small group by any stretch. And Western Kentucky will open up with a couple of tight ends. Single setback is Moore on 1st and 10 from the 18. Little screen pass up the middle. Georgia read it well. Gain of a couple on the play before he is hit by a couple of Bulldogs. Charles Johnson led the way, and Justin Haddock's under center today for Western Kentucky. Dave, they just the Georgia coaches, when we asked him about Justin, said that he is just for lack of a better term, just steady Eddie back.
Yeah, I know you enjoyed talking with him yesterday. Very, very personable. He was tough, though. How about it? I love to get hit. You ain't going to see me slide. You ain't going to see me run out of bounds.
Got a couple of those quarterbacks
exactly.
today on the field. Joe Tereshinski, also a guy that doesn't mind a little contact.
Big down here, Dave. You don't want to go 3rd and 10 against this Georgia team.
Handoff left side. Bulldogs all over it. Tackle made by Jarvis Jackson from the middle linebacker position. And speaking of that Georgia defense, this group can be dangerous. No question about it. Quentin Moses is the leader. 20.5 career sacks. Charles Dodson on the other side. This could be his breakout season. Some good linebackers, not a lot of depth, but they can all interchange with each other in certain situations. And that secondary, as Dave Rowe mentioned at the top of our show, we'll keep an eye on the safeties. Certainly Willie Martinez, the defensive coordinator, anxious to get these guys on the field, seeing a lot of snaps. Haddix rolled out of the pocket. He's about the 5-yard line. Trying to buy time, throws back over the middle. Incomplete, falls short of the tight end, and that'll bring up a 4th down situation. Charles Johnson was the defender chasing Haddix out of bounds. Willie Martinez glad with the first 3 and out, and his team makes the Hilltoppers back up a couple of yards on that possession.
Yeah, that's one of the things I talked with Willie Martinez, the defensive coordinator. Can you get pressure with just your front 4? He said we're going to have to. If we can't, then we'll start bringing the backers. But they're going to put a lot of pressure, try to flush them out of the pocket, make them run just like they did that time.
Tanner Seward to punt it away for Western Kentucky. Mikey Henderson, who had some great returns in fall camp, back to return for the Bulldogs. A nice high spiral. Henderson to the 35, makes some people miss. He's at midfield. He's got great speed. He's to the 20, to the 10, strike up the band. Touchdown, Georgia. A 65-yard return for Mikey Henderson. Dave Baker.
Dave Neal, I think the Western Kentucky coaches might want to take a look at the replay. They're screaming on the other side of the field that perhaps Henderson let that ball go before he crossed the plane.
You know, I thought that same thing, Dave. Let's see if we can see it right here. Does he throw the ball up? He has to cross the goal line. Watch close. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Look at that. Wow, maybe it'd be a different from the side angle, but that looked exactly like he might have thrown the ball up.
Well, Dave Elson in 1AA, they don't have the replay usage in most of their conference games. He had a long talk with our referee today about that particular issue. He's going to have to burn a timeout to give our replay officials added time. You see Penn Wagers, our referee today, with his arms up, signaling touchdown. Dave, what do you got?
Well, Dave, I guess the question is, because as I remember it, I don't have the possession of the ball when he went into the end zone. When he gained possession of the ball, his foot was on the sideline. Therefore, the ball is ruled out of bounds. The results of the play is a touchback. Western Kentucky, first down.
So the 66-yard touchdown is nullified. David Elson, his first go-round with the coach having the opportunity to call a timeout to have the play reviewed, although they are all reviewed, but certainly buying more time for the review to take over. Mikey Henderson, a great works here in Athens, Georgia. Mikey Henderson, who has shined in the return game for Georgia throughout preseason camp, looked good there until he got to the 3-yard line. Coughs it up. Western Kentucky dodges one, and they take over at the 20 on the touchback. First possession was 3 and out. Pass falls incomplete. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, I was down talking with him before the game, Dave, and he loves that kid. He said he's got a defensive player's mentality, but he's an offensive quarterback.
Curtis Hamilton goes in motion on 2nd and 10. Haddix, 7-step drop under pressure, lofts it up. Had a man open. His fullback, Jared Johnson, the sophomore out of Franklin. That'll bring up a 3rd down. That's that'll be the defense for Western Kentucky. We'll get to them in a minute.
Yeah. Well, right now, big down right down. Haddix had him open that time. As we look at T.J. Weiss, the offensive coordinator, he's got to come up with a play right here. You just can't keep on going 3 and out. That last time, Quentin Moses, 94, got pressure on him and made him throw early.
Here's Haddix. Chased down from behind. Got a yard on the play. Charles Johnson, all 6'2", 270 pounds. From Hawkinsville, Georgia, makes the tackle. Already making his presence felt opposite Quentin Moses.
Boy, 99 plays the line well. Plays in there, doesn't get hooked. Look at him playing to the outside. That is really tough to do. You get in there, you play heads up, use those big, strong arms, slide along the line. A lot of people say he's as good as Quentin Moses. Even Quentin Moses says that. That's quite a compliment to say that you're as good as I am and you're one of the top players in the SEC.
Tanner Seawort's first punt, 50 yards, but returned 63 before the fumble occurred. We'll go at it again. It's another good high kick. Mikey Henderson, this time from the 33. He's got some room again. He's to midfield, to the 40. Cuts it back inside. He's to the 20, to the 10. Will he hold on to the football? Yes, he will. Touchdown, Bulldogs. A 62-yard return this go-round, and it will stand.
Boy, a couple great blocks right here. On the outside, Massaquoi gets a great block, number 1. I was watching him. Look right there. You see 23 come in there, just kind of shade him. He didn't hit him in the back. That was a super play. And are they going to, as you said, break the plane? I promise you they're going to put it down in the end zone.
Brandon Coutu with the extra point. It is up, and that is good. So Mikey Henderson redeems himself. A couple of big returns for the Bulldogs. Back after a word from your local stations.
If I ran like that, you could call me Gimpy, too. Gimpy.
I call you Gimpy anyway.
Thanks, buddy.
There is Mikey Henderson. As Brandon Coutu gets set to kick it off to Dennis Mitchell and Curtis Hamilton. And Hamilton will take it deep in the end zone and take a knee, and Western Kentucky will bring it out to their 20-yard line once again. Partners making IT right. Couple of tight ends in the game for Western Kentucky. Hand off to Moore. He drops it, puts it on the turf. Who has it? Georgia Bulldogs. Keelan Johnson with the fumble recovery. Trey Battle from his strong safety position caused the fumble, and the Bulldogs have unbelievable field position.
Check it out. Now look at the red shirts. They all hear that fire call.
Well, Dave Baker talking to Dave Rowe talking to Willie Martinez yesterday. He said he was concerned about his safeties. Well, they both one caused the fumble, the other one picked it up.
Yeah.
Here's Tarashinsky to throw over the middle. Pass is knocked away at the last minute by Dennis Mitchell, the senior out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Kenneth Harris trying to break free in the end zone, but Mitchell hanging all over him.
Boy, this is good defense. Tarashinsky really throwing off the back foot. Mitchell with the great play getting that hands in there.
A little behind Harris.
Yeah, but look at that. You see, you see how Mitchell didn't put that left arm up on him?
Handoff goes to Brown. He falls down to about the 16-yard line. John Hedges makes the tackle for Western Kentucky. Let's check in again with Dave Baker on what's going on with Mikey Henderson.
They were flexing the knee, Dave, but word from the Georgia bench now, it's a slight pull of the left hamstring. He may not be back today.
Well, he made his presence felt early anyway.
Yeah, I guess he did. Wow.
3rd down and 9 for the Bulldogs. Tarashinsky will work out of the shotgun. Going over the middle, passes caught, touchdown Bulldogs. Mario Rayleigh, the senior out of Charlotte, North Carolina, makes it 13-0. 17 yards on the touchdown pass.
Boy, Tarashinsky saw that. Tarashinsky had his back turned. Number 32 couldn't catch up with him.
Yeah, that point after is up and good. Mark Richt had to spend about the first 3 weeks of preseason camp trying to work 4 quarterbacks. A perfect strike to Rayleigh. 14-0 Bulldogs. 56 to go in the opening quarter. And the red towels were handed out today for the Georgia fans, about 92,000 here at Sanford Stadium, and with the humidity the way it is, a much-needed towel, to say the least.
I can promise you I need one. Man.
You needed one at 8 o'clock this morning getting out of the rental car. Katu's kickoff will send Hamilton deep into the end zone again, and that'll be another touchback.
Number.
Beautiful facility, great setting, one of the best in college football right here in Athens, GA. So Western Kentucky, Dave Rowe, needs to get something going on. Haddix hasn't been able to connect. LaRon Moore, who just fumbled, hasn't been able to get anything going, and we'll see what he does here. A little toss sweep to the left side. He picks up 7, 8 before he is hit and brought down by Keelan Johnson. The free safety steps up, lowers his shoulder, but a good gain for LaRon Moore.
It was a good game. When he comes out of the backfield, he's got a big hole. Good down block inside. They trapped him. Now get a kick out and put it down right here. I thought for a second there he stumbled, but you've got to pick up positive yardage on that first down. You can't just keep on going out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out against a team like Georgia.
Well, good down now for Western Kentucky. They got a couple of plays to deal with here. 2nd down and 1. A lot of options. LaRon Moore, by the way, was held out of contact all preseason camp. Was not allowed to be hit by his teammates. So that was his first big shot since last season. Here's Haddix, big drop. Under pressure, flag is down. He is brought down at the 15-yard line. Jarvis Jackson led the way for the Bulldogs.
Oh boy, and this is along the line of scrimmage. If Georgia lined up in the line, inside the line of scrimmage, oh, I'll tell you, Willie Martinez, the defensive coordinator, is going to be upset. Nope, it's not. Probably the 6 men on the line of scrimmage. I think they take the play. There's Willie Martinez, the defensive coordinator.
Against the offense, they only had 5 people on the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
That penalty declined. 3rd down.
So the penalty is declined.
Well, that's Mr. Intensity right there. He told me, he said, man, this next 3.5 hours, he said, it's a stomach ache for me. What a complexion change. 2nd and 1, now 3rd and 14.
Out of the shotgun. 2 receivers to the top, 1 to the near side. Moore stands to the left of Haddix. Here comes pressure again. Haddix, who loves to run with the football, will pump fake. And he is brought down at the original line of scrimmage by Jarvis Jackson, the senior from Atlanta, Georgia. And once again, Western Kentucky will have to punt it away.
Round.
So Asher Allen will take over as the deep man for the Bulldogs, as Mikey Henderson is perhaps done for the afternoon after 2 punt returns for 133 yards. Asher Allen, the true freshman out of Tucker, Georgia. Another high kick from Seward. That'll send Allen to the 28. He dances around. This time Western Kentucky able to get some coverage. A 52-yard punt by Seward, only a 1-yard return by Asher Allen, but flags are down back at the line of scrimmage. We'll go against Western Kentucky, perhaps another not enough men on the line of scrimmage. Play a whole lot his senior season. So Seward's getting a lot of action.
Well, just think about this. Georgia would have had the ball on the 29-yard line. Now where will they get it?
This kick is wobbly end over end, bounces perfectly to Allen, who fields it at the 42. He is tripped up inside Western Kentucky territory at the 47-yard line by linebacker John Hedges. So Georgia once again with good field position. That punt amounted to 45 yards with a 12-yard return. Well, let's go down to Dave Baker for an all-tell sideline report. Buzz.
24 years, he's cutting up tape. And then Joe the third, with his first touchdown pass moments ago.
Greg Lumpkin getting his first action today, but a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Looks as though Ross Dickens in the middle for Western Kentucky might have jumped the gun a little bit.
Where you hear that snap count, all of a sudden when he extends it, boy, it's hard to stay on sides.
Out of the shotgun. Des Williams in at fullback, but the handoff goes to Lumpkin. He's down to the 25-yard line. Georgia's 3 tailbacks are going to be hard to handle for the opposition Brown, Lumpkin, and Ware are going to be a handful.
Well, 2 blocks right in here. Watch the center block right there. That's a huge block. Now, they had blitz pressure to the backside. He doesn't see it. So they come in there, and if you're going to play that 34 defense, you got to have 3 rocks in there. You got to have your backers filling. You can't guess wrong. Right now, they're driving them off the line of scrimmage.
Lumpkin nowhere to go this time. Travis Waters makes the tackle for Western Kentucky. But basically what's going to happen, according to Neil Callaway, the offensive coordinator, and Mark Richt, is with these 3 running backs, Thomas Brown is a clear number 1. Not that anything was wrong with Lumpkin and Ware throughout the preseason camp. Those guys have been steady all fall and really spring. But Thomas Brown took it to another level. Yes. So they're going to do basically 4 plays for Brown, and then Lumpkin will do 2, Ware will do 2, and they'll work that rotation. A lot of action going on today on the opening Saturday of college football. Of course, on Thursday night, South Carolina gets past Mississippi State in the SEC opener. Tereshinski looking at a 2nd down and 8. Danny Ware is the single setback. 2 receivers to the top, 1 to the near side. A handoff goes to Ware. Ware down to the 20. He'll gain a couple on the play. That'll bring up a 3rd down and about 5. John Hedges makes the stop for Western Kentucky.
And Dave, that was a good example right there of Western Kentucky's inability to get off those blocks and get around them and slide. You never saw anybody penetrating in the line.
Georgia quickly up in a no-huddle offense. Western Kentucky trying to make some changes, scrambling to get players off the field. They do so. Tereshinski will change the play at the line of scrimmage again.
Western Kentucky's got a blitz on.
Pass to the near side falls incomplete. Looking for Chris Durham, the true freshman from Calhoun, Georgia. Coverage by Dennis Mitchell.
It's going to be interesting to see how Western Kentucky's going to try to get pressure. That time they brought people, and Mark Richt with his team was prepared for it. You see him talking with Tereshinski as he comes to the sideline. They're doing a set count, seeing if they give away on the defense, and that time they did. But he didn't complete the pass.
Brandon Coutu steps in for the field goal. Last year, 23 out of 29. And this one from 37 is perfect. Brandon Coutu finding his way to perhaps All-American honors. A preseason All-SEC first-team kicker. Got a great leg. Hit 3 field goals over 50 yards last year, including a 58-yarder. Now in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Boy, you can't have thin skin and play quarterback in this league, let me tell you. There's 90,000 people, as you said, in every stadium.
And then next week, he's got to go to Tuscaloosa.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
So Coutu will kick it off again, and once again, Curtis Hamilton takes it about 8 yards deep in the end zone, so Western Kentucky will bring it out to the 20 again. Dave, Georgia's deep
depth, and they're coming after. They worked harder this year than they did last year, and last year we saw what they did last year. But they said they came back and they do this mat drill and said we worked harder this year than last year.
Western Kentucky 10 plays, -4 yards with a fumble.
Got to get a 1st down.
And the freshman from Lexington, Tyrell Hayden, gets the carry for Western Kentucky. Coaches said he had a great breakout preseason camp. They were really impressed with this youngster. Moved up the depth chart to become the number 2 tailback to LaRon Moore.
Yeah, right now, if you're Western Kentucky, you just got to move the chains. You've got to get something positive happen. If you're Justin Haddix, you want to look downfield, find somebody that you can throw the ball to. Maybe the tight end, see a little slant across the middle. He likes that play, that little slant that comes across, that dart across the middle. He's got to complete one.
Gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8. Here's Haddix, little sprint out. Hits Hamilton near that 1st down marker, but he stepped out of bounds back at the 27, maybe 28-yard line by Paul Oliver. Pushes him out of bounds. So that'll bring up another 3rd down.
Good play, roll against the pressure, go out. You got a little crossing pattern right there. They rolled out of the pocket to get away from the pressure, and he finds Hamilton out in the flat. Good call, good selection. You see how he gets out of there, squares his shoulders up. That's nice. Now you've got to pick up that 1st down. This is big for Western Kentucky.
Hamilton had 20 catches a year ago for over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. Caught a pass in every game a year ago. 3rd down and 2. Hilltoppers looking for their first conversion. Haddix.
Oh, it's got a lot of time.
Hayden makes the catch and falls forward for the first down, but a flag is down at the 28. Right about the place he made the catch. Marcus Howard makes.
You can see those coaches working the officials. Oh, wow.
To be successful at his end to free up Quentin Moses.
Absolutely. You can't double on both of them.
Here's Haddix. Pressure again. Looking to set up a little tunnel screen over there to Tyrell Hayden. Fell incomplete. Pressure came from one of the defense. Allen back to return the punt again. His first return. Covered 12 yards. High kick again. Allen interfered with. Ball is scooped up by the Bulldogs. They're on the run. Marcus Brown happened to be at the right place at the right time, but a flag came down as Asher Allen was bumped by Rashad Etheridge. 10 wagers is
interference against the kicking team is declined. The result of the play.
Yeah, to take the ball.
Georgia.
Figure out a way to put some points on the board. Of course, the Auburn defense, not exactly one of the easiest to try to figure out. Pass over the middle, intended for Massaquoi. It goes incomplete.
When that play selection, that really surprises me. You've got your big offensive line up front, and they're just controlling them, and he just does a little play action fake, and then comes back and just dumps it over the middle. Ball's behind him, but hey, I think he should have caught the ball, but hey, I'm going to use that big offensive line up front. They're blowing him off the line of scrimmage right now.
Tarashinsky 2 out of 5 with a touchdown. This time he's going deep. Pass is batted in the air. Travis Waters on the coverage of A.J. Bryant. That could have been dangerous, but an underthrown ball.
They got pressure on him, and they're going to get the football back if they can stop him one more down here. But interesting. I mean, you're running the ball on the ground, Dave. Why go to the air all of a sudden? That's probably why Mark Richt is the head coach and I'm a defensive player. Now he's got to throw it.
3rd down and 10. Thomas Brown stands to his right. Brown will stay in and protect. Pass is caught over the middle by D'Amico Goodman. He takes it inside the 30 down to the 29. That'll be good enough for a first down. Brad Cloud makes the tackle.
Came out strong side, squared up, looked downfield, and he's so tough that he never got pressured. I like his play, Tarashinsky.
Here's the handoff to Brown for the 25. Georgia going to a no-huddle offense. Mark Richt telling us he loves the no-huddle. Sometimes it was hard to get. They've slowed the game down to allow the defense to make changes if the offense makes any changes. And he says it's really hard to get into flow and to hurry up the way we used to run it over the last couple of years. But he loves the offense and the way they're going to set the ball and keep him playing. He says it might work in his favor. Here's Brown off the right side again, down to the 20. Inside the 20. Actually, they'll mark it right at the 20, and that'll probably be the last play of the quarter. Blake Boyd makes the stop, close to a first down. We will see if they move the chains in a moment. But that is the end of the first 15 minutes of the 06 season. Georgia, the defending SEC champions, with a 2-touchdown lead. The Bulldog defense has been stellar, but special teams been even better. Back to Athens after this. You know, the Bulldogs defense missed a couple of guys like Tim Jennings, DeMario Minner, Greg Blue out of that secondary.
Yeah.
But they have more than it appears made up for it. But Georgia looking on 3rd down and short for about a half a yard. Tarashinsky keeps it, and that'll be the first down.
Well, now, don't get fancy. You're inside that 20-yard line. Just keep on plowing it. The last 2 plays they picked up before that.
They are just shy by about 6 inches.
How about those Oakland Raiders?
I just had to ask. I had to ask.
I know.
So here it is, 4th down and about 6 inches.
Big man on big man.
It's to the fullback.
Yeah.
Brandon Sutherland, and he will get more than the 6 inches, gets a couple of yards on the carry, and that'll bring up a first down. John Hedges, along with Davis McBride, make the tackle for Western Kentucky. Well, inside the red zone last year, the Bulldogs got there 51 times. The problem was they only scored 27 touchdowns. That's an area that they went back and really analyzed. They had a lot of success kicking. They were 14 out of 17 in the field goal department. Brandon Cantu was outstanding, but they need some more touchdowns. They'd like to get that up to around 70% as opposed to around 60%. That's a look at our red zone, powered by Honda Generators, for the ultimate tailgating experience. Darashinsky has to unload it about 3 rows deep. Bulldogs also going out with a couple of key elements on the offensive line. One in particular, the senior Daniel Inman and the redshirt freshman Ian Smith, both suspended for the first couple of ball games. Inman will come in and make an immediate impact and give this dog offensive line some much needed help in terms of depth. Brown down to about the 10-yard line. Here's a look at our Gatorade first quarter stats. Minus 2 yards rushing for Western Kentucky. A total of 4 yards. The Bulldogs have 79 total yards. Of course, the big play, or I guess you could say 2, Mikey Henderson with a 63-yard return, then fumbled crossing the goal line through the end zone. So it nullified a touchdown, and then he came back and answered with a 63-yard punt return for a TD just about a minute later. Pass over the middle, but a flag is thrown in the end zone. Travis Waters was covering Kenneth Harris and got there a little early.
Boy, I was watching Waters on that play, number 18, and he actually kind of jumped around him. I didn't think he got his hand up on Harris.
Number 18 on the defense. The penalty will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
They'll move the ball to the 2. First and goal for the Bulldogs. Couple of tight ends. There goes Lumpkin diving in from the 2. Touchdown Bulldogs. Lumpkin had 3 touchdowns a year ago.
Dave, watch how he protects this ball. Both arms on it. Not going to get knocked out. You wrap it up. You're trying to get 2 yards. You're not trying to look good. You're trying to get 2 yards, and he did.
And the point after is up and good. That extends the Bulldog lead to 24-0 with 13:20 to go in the second quarter right here on Lincoln Financial Sports. Temperature is going to be somewhere in the mid-80s, but the humidity has just been difficult to deal with for Dave Rowe. That's the best I'll say.
No. I'm staying cool up here, buddy. I'm cool with you.
Hamilton back deep for the Hilltoppers. This time he'll have a chance to return it. He's to the 15, dancing around. Gets it out to about the 19-yard line. One of the changes this year is that anytime there is a kickoff, the clock starts immediately from the time the ball is kicked.
Be down 24 points. They have done nothing on offense. They cannot move the football. They've got to start soon. You've got to get first downs. Got to move the chains. You got to do something.
No first downs for the Hilltoppers this afternoon. The handoff goes to LaRon Moore. He takes it out to about the 23.5-yard line. Keelan Johnson makes the stop. Keelan, the junior out of Daytona Beach, Florida. Played in every game last year. Did have 1 start. This is a defense that certainly, due to some injuries, got a lot of guys on the field. May not have a lot of starting experience, but there's plenty of talent out there that played some SEC football a year ago. Second down and 5 for the Hilltoppers. Georgia all over the toss sweep to LaRon Moore, who loses a couple on the play.
I thought Taylor, 43, I thought he was in the backfield, but he's on Georgia. We're talking about penetration. Watch the top of your screen. You see 43 coming in there? Allen coming in there. Look how quick they're in there. 95 sliding over. Watch this right here. Get inside. Look at that great penetration right there. That's the way you do it, Jeff Owens. Square up inside, use that big body. There's 43. That's Taylor. Boy, he came off the line.
Asher Allen will get credit for that tackle, although some of the credit should go to those inside guys. 3rd down and 9. Haddix out of the shotgun. Here comes some pressure. He's dancing around. Pass is caught at the line of scrimmage by Moore, but then he is swarmed by a bunch of red jerseys led by, once again, that true freshman Asher Allen. Pressure came from Quentin Moses.
Boy, did you see how quick Moses gets in there? Uses those great hands, number 94. Look at this. Hands, get in there, rip up inside, flush that quarterback out. And I want to tell you something. When one of these Georgia backs touches a receiver, they don't let go. Asher Allen's he's just a freshman, or Allen Asher, I should say. But look what he does. You see how he doesn't let go? Asher Allen.
Asher Allen.
Yeah. Actually, I wrote that down wrong. I hate to say that. I'm sorry, Mrs. Allen.
Right. 4th down and 9. Here comes Tanner Seward. High kick, but not very deep. That will sail well into that Western Kentucky bench. You'll see where they spot it.
Wow, how about the 46?
46. Didn't even cross midfield.
Wow.
24-0 Georgia out in front. 10:19 to go here in the second quarter. Back after a word from your local stations. We have all kind of expected, since Mark Richt announced that he would probably play 2 quarterbacks, and the number 2 guy on the depth chart out of the 4-man race is that man, number 14, Joe Cox, redshirted a year ago out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Seeing his first snaps at the college level. First pass goes to Martrez Milner. Gain of about 6 on the play. Joe Cox.
Wow.
The redshirt freshman, 6'1", 200 pounds, out of Independence High School. You look at those high school numbers, 66 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions. An amazing career for a school that has now won over 90 consecutive games in a row. He hands off to Danny Ware. I think it's 94 straight for Independence High School in Charlotte.
Can you believe he's never lost a game?
As a starting quarterback.
Yeah, as a starting quarterback, never?
Well, the guy he replaced at Independence High School was a fellow we know quite well in this league, Chris Leak.
He never lost either.
Well, Muhammad Massaquoi caught some of these Joe Cox passes. Also another guy, Mario Rayleigh, who's had a catch today for the Bulldogs. He too out of Independence High School. He caught many of those Chris Leak passes. Here's Cox with a nice play action, has plenty of time. Throws out to the far side. Pass is caught. Couple of broken tackles down to the 10. Danny Ware will pick up the Bulldog first down. They'll spot it at about the 11-yard line. A gain of 23 on the play.
Watch Joe Cox in here. This is not a redshirt freshman. Look at the poise. Now he comes all the way out. That's not his primary receiver. He looked downfield. He went through his progression, came across and found the secondary receiver. That was not primary, and he stayed cool in the pocket. Of course, when you're not getting a lot of rush on you, you can stay cool in the pocket. But how about Joe Cox comes right out and starts throwing?
Western Kentucky, second timeout.
Western Kentucky takes a timeout. Now look at the red zone, powered by Honda generators for the ultimate tailgating experience. So Georgia does have an opportunity to pick up a first down, albeit they'll need to get it to about the 6-inch line to do so. So it's first down and 10 from the 10 in a 24-0 game. Handoff goes to Ware. He breaks it to the outside, makes one man miss before he's brought down at the 3.5-yard line by Brad Cloud.
Dave, there is nothing worse than missed tackles. Missed tackles will kill you. Good block on the outside by Shackelford. He's on Klein, number 95. But missed tackles, you can't arm tackle these runners. They run right on through those arm tackles.
Georgia quickly to the line. Handoff goes to the fullback. Get a couple of yards on the play. Des Williams, the junior out of Pecula, Georgia. Des missed all of last year with a torn pectoral muscle, meaning Brandon Sutherland was a freshman a year ago, got to start at fullback. Brandon did an outstanding job. He had off-season shoulder surgery, did Brandon. Des Williams comes back healthy, so a couple of really good fullbacks for Mark Richt. He says, you know, these just aren't your guys that we're in there using to block. These guys can catch out of the backfield. They can also pick up 3, 4, 5 yards for us in tight situations. So Georgia in a good spot when it comes to their fullbacks. Here's Joe Cox with a faked handoff. Took it off the right side. Gets down to about the 1-yard line.
Boy, what a fake to Thomas Brown. You talk about a fake. Man, he fakes to Thomas Brown. Everybody thought number 20 had it. See them all running after him? Then he just pulls the ball out and tries to get in the end zone. Big play.
Everybody but Andre Lewis and Marion Rump for Western Kentucky, which is good that they had an eye on the ball. And here it is, 4th and 1. Remember, Georgia can pick up a first down, albeit it's going to be very close to the goal line. So Georgia thinking TD here. Joe Cox will call a timeout as the play clock drops down to about 3 seconds.
First timeout of the half.
And that'll be the Bulldogs' first timeout.
That's the thing then. And I asked Mike Bobo, the quarterbacks coach, I said, what one thing was it that made the difference? And he said, just his preparation.
Here it is, 4th down and 1 for the Bulldogs. Handoff goes to Brown. Touchdown, Georgia. Just a power play off the left side, and the Bulldogs won the battle up front. And Brown picks up the touchdown, making it 30-0.
He dives in. But good zone blocking. That's where you run along the line. Everybody, they don't pick out a man. You actually pick out an area to block.
Katu's 4th point after of the game is up and good. He also added a field goal from 37 yards. So on 4th and 1, the Bulldogs pick up 7. Warm day here in Athens. Brandon Katu has been a busy man. 4 extra points, a field goal, and a lot of kickoffs.
Boy, and a lot of kickoffs in the end zone. I think that Western Kentucky's only returned 1.
And it was his last one, so maybe his leg getting a little weary here early. Curtis Hamilton back deep. So the clock will start as soon as Katu gets his foot into it. And this one will be returnable again. It's Hamilton at the goal line. Hamilton to the 20, to the 25, out to the 26. A flag comes in late. You need traveling around the SEC. So the Hilltoppers back at the 8. Haddix delay handoff goes to Moore, and he gets maybe a yard on the play. Danny Verdun Wheeler from his linebacker position able to make the stop. Vanderbilt Commodores at halftime down only 6 to the Maize and Blue. Texas 4 touchdowns better than North Texas at the break, and Iowa leading Montana 17-0. That is a quick look at our Aaron scoreboard. There is Quentin Moses. Quentin got bigger. I swear, it listed at 6'5", 255, but I swear he stands like about 6'7" to me. That pass is caught by the tight end, Chris Bruneman. He'll take it out to about the 17-yard line. Keelan Johnson with his 3rd tackle. He'll be a little bit shy of that first down.
Look at that good pursuit back by the defense. They didn't get fooled on the little fake, handoff coming back against the grain. And Bruneman makes a nice catch. Now they may have a chance for a first down. You've got to start with the basics, and I'm going to tell you something. If I'm Western Kentucky, I'm going to start with the basics, and that's getting a first down.
They'll set up in the I formation. Fullback is Jared Johnson. 3rd down and about a yard. Handoff goes to Moore. He loses 3, maybe 4 on the play. Charles Johnson, the 270-pound defensive end out of Watkinsville, just blew that play up.
Look at him. He's in the backfield. I mean, we're talking he's 3. This is short yardage. You're hip to hip, foot to foot. You can't let somebody get in the backfield. He is just driving in that backfield, square in the hole. Me, oh my. I want to tell you something. Charles Johnson, he gets my vote. He is quite. They've got an incredible tandem of defensive ends here with Moses and Johnson.
Seward averaging 42.5 yards per punt. Steps back to punt again. By the way, that's Watkinsville, Georgia, for Charles Johnson. They get those hometowns right. That punt bounces at the 45, rolls forward, and will go out of bounds at the 44-yard line. That'll be a 41-yard punt. So Georgia will take over once again with 4:14 to go before halftime. Time for one. Look at Georgia hanging right in there. 52-13, the best record in the SEC titles. As Tarashinsky back in under center. Pump fakes and goes underneath. And hits Thomas Brown, who can't shake a Hilltopper defender. It's right about to midfield before Mitchell makes the stop for the Hilltoppers.
And Dave, you might question, why do they bring Tarashinsky back in there? It's to get him to in a different game type of situation. Coming off the bench, being the starter, going over, sitting down, getting Joe Cox some time. Now, don't get him time to cool off. Bring him right back in the game. Let him lead a little bit of a series right here. See if he can produce in different game type situations.
Soft pass over to Thomas Brown, goes through his hands as he was backpedaling a little bit. That'll stop the clock at 3:29 to go before halftime, and it'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Dogs.
And Dave, Neil Callaway, the offensive coordinator, told us, said, one of my real concerns is that offensive line. Well, I'm telling you, they're not getting a test today. That offensive line is solid all the way across.
Well, he only has 6 bodies he's going to rotate in and out up front today's game. Georgia 2 out of 6 on 3rd down conversions today. Tarashinsky pass is caught and then dropped at the 40-yard line by Kenneth Harris. He got hit right as the ball hit him in the numbers by Travis Waters.
That's why you have to catch the ball away from your body. You don't catch it in against the chest. Watch this. See if he reaches out for the ball. Does it hit him in the chest? Yeah, see, he hits him in the chest. And hey, how about that rip up inside by Waters? Watch that arm come up in there. See that 18 bring that right arm up in there? That's a good play. That's a heads-up play.
Timeout, Western Kentucky. Their 3rd and final timeout of the half.
Western Kentucky will burn their final time out of the half. Charge to timeout.
You know the rule change I liked? The tinted masks. No more shields that are tinted. They have to be clear. Now you ask why? I don't want to look in the face of Darth Vader in the huddle. I want to look right in the eyes of my player.
Ely Kelso sends it deep into the end zone, so the Hilltoppers will bring it out to the 20. That'll go down as a 49-yard kick. Of course, that will net 29 in the perhaps LSU, and in the East, Florida's been getting most of the nods, but certainly you can't underestimate what we're looking at today in the red jerseys.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, these guys, they're playing with great pride. They're coming off that 3rd down and 1. They got them 4 yards in the backfield. They play with a lot of pride here and a lot of just a lot of history and they're just tough football players here. Hey, I think
Gabler, the freshman, with the reception, and that'll be a 1st down. That'll be the first down of the game for the Hilltoppers. The 2:43 to go before halftime.
This is what you got to do. You got to just throw it out there. You got to challenge them a little bit. Interesting that time as he went to Graber, I was watching the coverage, and the coverage was too far deep. Asher Allen was just a little bit too far off. But hey, try finding those wide outs. They're in one-on-one situations. Look at them. Right there's one. Up the top of your screen. Go after them. There's
Maddox going deep, looking for Hamilton. Makes the catch at the 30-yard line, falls forward and out of bounds at the 28. Prince Miller, the true freshman from Duncan, South Carolina, on the coverage. A pickup of 39 for the Hilltoppers.
That's what I'm talking about. Left of your screen, it's a wide out, and he's just going along. He's on a burn pattern. It's Hamilton. Just one-on-one. He gets good separation with the corner. Look at that great concentration to look the ball in. That's Prince Miller, 23, who had the coverage. And that is just an excellent, well-thrown ball. Again, look at this concentration. Look at Miller get that hand in there. Good eye, just looking that football in. Hey, they might score.
A toss sweep to Moore. He's met in the backfield and falls forward, gets close to the line of scrimmage. Darius Dewberry, the true freshman from Fort Valley, makes the stop along with Quentin Moses. Dewberry, boy, did Willie Martinez, the defensive coordinator, say some positive things about that young man?
That play was a great play, Dave. Let me tell you what he did. Came off the line, got deep in there, got an arm on him, slowed him down, didn't stay on the ground, came back up and ran and got him from behind. That's what you want in a linebacker.
Maddox throws near side. Pass is caught by Gabler. He gets it close to the first down. They will spot the ball inside the 20 down to about the 18-yard line. And they may bring in the change as Carl Marcus Washington of the Bulldogs is down. A sophomore out of Keysville, Georgia. Round out the 5 teams from the SEC in that AP poll. 3rd and short. Haddix keeps it. That may be good enough for the first down. Marcus Howard in there to make the tackle for the Bulldogs.
Well, he didn't make it by much. Man.
And that will be a first down according to our referee pin wagers today.
3 first downs on this drive. That's good. Good completions out in the flat. You almost say, hey, why didn't we do that a little bit earlier if you're Western Kentucky? I think you come right down and challenge again. I think you look at your corners sitting out there. You see that distance in between there? That's what you got to look at. Playing off the ball. Throw it to him quick.
Haddix. Pass batted in the air at the line of scrimmage by Jeff Owens. That'll fall incomplete. Bring up 2nd down and 10.
Boy.
Inside the red zone last year for Western Kentucky. 26 touchdowns, 19 of those by way of the run. They had 7 passing touchdowns. And Chris James, their kicker, was pretty good, 9 out of 10 in that red zone, which is powered by Honda generators for the ultimate tailgating experience. 7th play of this drive coming up for the Hilltoppers. Started back at their own 20.
Look at that distance, that top. Go to the top. Look to your left.
Haddix has time. To the back of the end zone. Tell you what, Georgia may have gotten away with one there.
Yeah.
It looked as though Jake Gabler might have been bumped out of bounds as the ball was in the air.
Johnson put a lot of pressure, a lot of contact here. Again, good pickup inside. Got a little bit of time. Now he comes out strong side, throws to the back of the end zone. Watch this contact right in here.
It was right before that. Here,
yeah,
take a look.
Here it is. Let's see if we see it here. See right there? I think that's contact. I want to tell you something. What a camera shot. That's contact right there.
Yeah, I would say.
I mean, you can't do that. He put both hands on him.
Tough break for Western Kentucky on what has been a good drive to this point. It's now 3rd down and 10. They're 1 out of 7 on 3rd downs. Haddix back over the middle. Wide open is Hamilton. Touchdown for the Hilltoppers. That one goes 17 yards. LaRon Moore with a big-time pickup on a blitz by Asher Allen allowed Haddix to complete the pass.
Absolutely. Saw when he came back, Brown just put his hands up saying, hey, who broke the coverage? I think it was the safety.
Chris James out of Fayetteville, Georgia. Able to connect on the point after. And it's 31-7 with 37 seconds remaining before halftime. A nice drive by the Hilltoppers. It goes 80 yards. They finally get on the scoreboard. 8 plays. It took up 2.5 minutes. You get Athens this week.
Yes.
Thomas Brown back to return the kick for the Bulldogs. It's a squib kick bouncing around. Taken by Asher Allen on that far side. Or excuse me, Lumpkin. 6, not 2. Picks up the bouncing football and takes it out to the 33-yard line. That's where Georgia will have it with 27 seconds left. And they will hurry up. Georgia gets their offense out there in a hurry because in this change of possession now, the clock will get going rather quickly.
You have to come out and line up on the ball because once that ball's ready, that clock's going to start. And it looks like Georgia's sitting in a spread position. They're going to go after it. They're going to throw a few times.
Pass goes underneath to Massaquoi.
Now, Yep, I said I thought they'd throw it a few times. I was looking to see if they had a timeout, but when you get a pile like that, it's so hard to get off. You just let it go.
So that'll do it as the clock hits 4, 3, 2, and that'll do it for the first half. Bulldogs post 31 points on the board in the first 30 minutes. Western Kentucky goes on an 80-yard drive to cap off the scoring. Let's check in with Dave Baker.
Except for that last drive that they put together. Pretty good first half for you here in the open.
Oh, great job defensively, and of course our special teams have been pretty outstanding also. We've had some bright spots on offense too, so I'm pleased with what's going on. We did let some young guys play here on defense until we got down in the red zone, but they scored on our #1 bunch, and we got to do better down there in that red zone.
Looked like Henderson pulled a hamstring. Anything serious?
Well, he's had a hamstring issue the entire camp, and he's been off and on, and he ran the first one, of course, didn't hang on to the ball like he should, and when it came around again, he begged me to let him go again, and when he went, he didn't pull it, but it's just getting tighter and tighter on him, and that's it for him today.
Thanks, Coach. We appreciate that. That's Mark Richt as he takes his Georgia Bulldogs to the locker room with a 31-7 lead over the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. We're back with more right after this.
And of course, Jack Harbaugh, the head coach and the father of Jim Harbaugh, the former Chicago Bears quarterback, led them to the 0-2 1AA National Championship. And this is a program that ran the option so much, but the last 5 or 6 years have kind of gone back to a more traditional type offense. Here's Hamilton. He takes it out to the 19-yard line. Brian Evans with the special teams tackle on a 14-yard return by Curtis Hamilton, who has a touchdown.
Now, what does he want from his team? He wants consistency. He doesn't want quit. He's telling them in the locker room, hey, this is 2 halves. We just kind of chip our way back in this. It might have a chance.
Handoff gets a couple of yards. As we mentioned, this was a predominantly option offense. I mean, old school triple option. And it kind of phased out in 2002, which happened to be Jack Harbaugh's last year as their head coach. He went to a more traditional passing 2-back set, still had the option in there, but it wasn't just an option offense. They go on to win a national title. Then Jack Harbaugh decides to step down after 14 years in February. They bring in David Elson in early March, and he kind of further removes the program from the option. It is still in their offense a little bit with Justin Haddix, but for the most part, it's a 1-back, 2-back set. There's a quarterback keeper, and nothing doing for Haddix as Quentin Moses and a couple of other red jerseys step in there.
Boy, I watched that time when Haddix pulled the ball out. Watch Haddix pull the ball out. Look at 94. You're looking right into Moses. Quentin Moses, 6'5", about 255, 260. Oh, there's Mom, Claudette. See her there. This is her right there. She's kind of calm. Look at her right there. I loved when she said in that little piece, you got a C one time. He said, when, Mom? He said, back in about 7th grade.
Yeah, Quentin, an excellent student as well as an excellent football player. Haddix under pressure, throws it up and over the bench on the far side. Quentin Moses, of course, comes in after a stellar campaign a year ago. He's a young man that grew up right here in Athens, Georgia. His mom, Claudette, we just saw moments ago, very proud of him, not only in the classroom, but with his athletic achievements as well. The SEC Academic Honor Roll for the young man. He lives about 10 miles from this campus. Interesting story, however, Dave. This summer, he has a 1995 Chevy. It was stolen. Somebody stole his car. They found it the next day at a new subdivision that was being built in one of the garages, and all the wheels were stripped off of it.
A 95 and they stole it?
Yeah, they said they got it fixed up. He still got it, but yeah, somebody stole his car.
Oh, God. Didn't he say he used to come here and sell hot dogs or something?
Yeah, from the time he was like 5, 6 years old, he would help in a concession stand that his mother was also working at. And then later on, worked the aisle selling sodas. Seaward's punt. Bounces out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Yeah, make it the 44-yard line, 36-yard punt. Let's check in with Dave Baker.
Dave, we had a but she drove him around an awful lot, and Quentin, as you said, sold Cokes here for his church group, and very connected in this Athens community on and off the field.
Tarashinsky to the far side hits Kenneth Harris. Harris stumbled but kept his balance. Dennis Mitchell was on the coverage for the Hilltoppers. That'll be a gain of 31 for the Bulldogs.
This is really interesting in that Harris, when he gets downfield, as you said, Dave, he stumbled, but he never took his eyes off the ball. And he's going against Dennis Mitchell, who's got the speed. Mitchell's probably their best corner one-on-one. But marvelous pass, good concentration. Looking back into the sun, watching that ball all the way in.
First and 10 for the Dogs. Thomas Brown is the single setback. Brown to the left side. Gets maybe a yard or two. Blake Boyd, the freshman from Madisonville, Kentucky, makes the tackle for the Hilltoppers.
And Dave, you might question why Tarashinsky starts the second half, but you want to get into that game flow. You want him to come out. He's been sitting in there. He's cooled off, changed his T-shirt. He's dry. He's cold. Come out, go through a normal workout, warm up in the second half, and come out and take it. So heads up play by Mark Richt, the head coach. Bring him out, get him in that game type situation. We may not see him very long, but we're seeing him now.
Second down and a long 8 for Tarashinsky and the Dogs. They set up the screen pass to Brown. He makes one man miss, then is dragged down from behind by Jonathan Carter. Carter, the outside linebacker out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Boy, good hustle on the play.
Well, you got to wrap him up. And John Hedges, 32, he's got a shot at him. Look right, watch this. He's got a shot at him. And you see how Thomas makes a miss? Thomas Brown makes a miss. He just kind of ducks underneath. Got to wrap him up. You get a shot like that.
That handoff goes to Brown. He will get the Bulldog first down. Boyd makes the tackle, his 5th of the afternoon for the Hilltoppers.
I don't know why offenses always try to get so tricky inside that 20-yard line, but Georgia just needs to pound it in. That's what they've done today. You see 4 possessions, 3 touchdowns.
Those are the kind of numbers Mark Richt will enjoy. 75% touchdowns on red zone possessions. Is that red zone powered by Honda generators for the ultimate tailgating experience. The first down and 10. Ball sits on the 12. Little play action to Brown. Throwing to the corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Martrez Milner, who's had a few big-time passes dropped a year ago. Drops that one in the corner. Dennis Mitchell on the coverage.
Just an out pattern, bottom of your screen. Look at this. You got to look that ball in. My goodness. Hits him right in the hands. That's Mitchell on the coverage right there. Yeah, you got to look that football in. That's Milner.
You know, we talked to Mark Richt about Martrez specifically, and, you know, he says it's one thing if Massaquoi misses a couple, nobody really says much, but when Martrez, because of his history, drops a couple, everybody gets concerned. But he's not concerned. However, I would believe that a pass like that you got to make.
Yeah, you got to catch that. Right. I'm sorry. And you know, you got a great tight end behind him. They got a young sophomore, Trip Chandler, and he's a big target. It's 6'6". They say he catches the ball. And if I drop one like that and I'm Miller, I'm going to be a little bit concerned on Monday.
Third down and 10. Tarashinsky again to the corner. This pass falls incomplete. Looking for A.J. Bryant in the corner of the end zone. Mitchell on the coverage.
And Dave, did you see what Mitchell did, number 21, on that? He knew he could not turn around. Watch this. He loses the inside position. Now look at him. He can't turn around. He plays the quarterback. The receiver gets that arm up inside. Watch that arm come up in there. See how he didn't interfere with him? Couldn't take a chance of looking back.
Mitchell's been very busy today, but he's had some success against these Georgia receivers. Here's a 30-yard attempt for Brandon Coutu. His holder, Gordon Ely-Kelso, the punter. That field goal is good. So Brandon Coutu having a perfect afternoon to this point. 2 field goals, 4 extra points, and a lot of kickoffs. And the Bulldogs' lead has been stretched to 34-7 with 9 out of the headlines of his unbelievable run as a starting quarterback. But this offense looks like it's got some weapons as well. And one of those is about to kick off. Brandon Couture. This guy could be a difference maker as the season unfolds. Hamilton back deep. And he will take the kickoff about 2 yards deep. And he dropped the football, but then caught it. It came right back to him.
I want to tell you what great coverage is. That is great coverage. When you catch the ball 2 yards deep in the end zone and you only make it out to what, about the 12-yard line? Look at him coming down there. You'll see Evans come in there right there. Now you see him drop the football, comes right back down. But look at that. I mean, you're returning the ball out to the 12-yard line.
Hamilton has 3 catches for 64 yards and a touchdown for Western Kentucky. So the Hilltoppers will start 1st and 10 from their 14. Haddix to throw. Pass is caught on the far side by Jesse Quinn, the sophomore out of Bradenton, Florida. Coverage by Paul Oliver.
Dave, when you get into a situation like this and you come out of the locker room, you're behind 34-7, you start thinking, okay, how do you get back in this football game? You do it by chipping away. You don't try to score big. Just keep on chipping away. Moore has not been a factor today. You can see he's had 9 rushes, 7 yards. They've not been able to get him clear. So what do? Start passing the football. Roll it out just like they just did. Don't go for the 20 yards. Look for the 5 to 7.
Haddix going up top. Pass is knocked out of bounds. It will fall incomplete. Looking for Jake Gabler on the far side. Oliver in battle on the coverage for the Bulldogs.
You don't throw this into his coverage. Watch the safety right there. You see him going over. He sees the ball up in the air. Then you lay it out. That ball is almost intercepted by Oliver and Battle. They're both going for it. I think, again, if you're Georgia and you had any concerns about those 2 inside safeties, Battle certainly he's done his share today. And I think Johnson's had a good day. Number 30, he's been coming around too. They've got strength with Brown and Oliver at the outside corners. So their secondary, it hasn't dropped off a whole lot.
Western Kentucky 2 out of 9 on 3rd downs today. There's the interception from Keelan Johnson, the free safety who Dave was just speaking about. Comes up with the interception. He stepped right in front of Hamilton. It'll be Georgia football at the Western Kentucky 36.
Watch number 30. He's reading the eyes of the quarterback, and look at him react. Look how quickly he comes in there and plays the ball. He doesn't play the man. You see him going for the football. Again, play the quarterback's eyes. If he at least, you can see right there that Justin Haddix didn't like it, but heads up play. Johnson, just a junior, one of those question marks.
Georgia's defense throughout the preseason practice had interception galore. As Western Kentucky busts in there, Chris Walker from his nose tackle position able to drop Terashinsky. That'll be a loss of 8 on the play. Bring up 2nd down and 18.
Well, if you want to crow about something and you're on defense and you're Western Kentucky, that's it. What you got to do is you got to get in the backfield, get the quarterback, get him in that 2nd and long situation, see what you can do with it.
Out of the I formation, Lumpkin gets the handoff, cuts back, and is met right on the spot by Andre Lewis, one of those inside linebackers, the junior out of Madison, Tennessee. Played it well and came up with a big-time hit.
Boy, did you see that smack? You talk about looking him in the nostrils. Man, Lewis, he came up and just popped him. All right, now you need a 3rd down. If you're Western Kentucky, you need a rush. If you're Georgia, you're saying, hey, big hosses up front. Give me a lot of time. Let me look off my primary receiver. Pick up one of those secondaries. Spread formation. 2 at the top, 1 at the bottom. You got a back to pick up a blitzer.
Out of the shotgun goes Terashinsky. Lumpkin stays in to help protect. Pass is thrown behind the intended target. I believe that was Milner going down the middle of the field. It was. Mason on the coverage.
Yeah, I thought that ball got tipped at the line of scrimmage. Let's see if we see the trajectory of the ball change. Yeah, you see the wobble of it? That was Ross Dickens, number 90, who got his hand up there and just kind of deflected the ball.
So Georgia will have to bring out the punting unit. Gordon Ely Kelso will be the third punt of the afternoon. On a 4th and 17, it was the big sack, the first play of this possession by Chris Walker, that forces Georgia to punt the football. Georgia had it 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Ely Kelso hangs it up in the air. Hamilton back to return it and is bumped by his own man, but still able with good concentration to make the catch down around the 8. A 28-yard kick, and I think it was effective if you're a Bulldog fan. Back after this. SEC football opener. Hilltoppers have it 1st down and 10 from about the 9.5-yard line. Addix hands it off to Moore. He's got some running room out to the 25. Drives his way out to the 28. A big-time collision. Trey Battle and Tony Taylor converge for the Bulldogs after a gain of 19 yards.
Boy, interesting play selection right there. Misdirection. You see how quickly Georgia plays to the right. They're very fast. That's the first mistake I've seen by Georgia, by their linebackers, where they overran the play, trying to get there too fast.
LaRon Moore, a tailback, is a young man that has 17 100-yard games in his career. Last year averaged almost 107 per game, 6 yards a carry. I mean, he has been highly successful, but today he's only had one run of significance, and that was moments ago. He loses a couple on that play as Charles Johnson makes his 4th tackle of the afternoon.
I want to tell you, they cannot block Charles Johnson, number 99. He's playing in the backfield. Look at the top of your screen up there. He's in the backfield. That's 4 yards in the backfield. And the big man just swoops him down.
Moore with 11 carries for 24 yards on the afternoon.
Dave, I've watched a lot of defensive combinations. I'm going to tell you, this is by far the best tandem of defensive ends I've seen in many, many years.
Addix under pressure, unloads it looking for the fullback Johnson. Pressure came from Brandon Miller, a linebacker. Marcus Washington almost had the pickoff.
When you do that little play action, you don't expect to look right up there and see somebody flash into your face. Number 12, Brandon Miller's right there. And he doesn't even have time to turn around and breathe. Play action is supposed to hold the linebackers up in the line of scrimmage. They're in the backfield.
There's Washington, the sophomore. Not very tall, but he is full of power, buddy. 6 feet, 250 pounds.
Yeah, you ain't going to run over him. Let me just tell you that right flat out.
Addix looked like a design quarterback draw and nothing happening. Quentin Moses gets his 3rd stop of the afternoon.
They're just pushing him back right now. That big Georgia line coming off there, just rumbling inside. Look at this. Great hand speed right there. And look at Moses react all the way around the backside. Again, he's over here on the right side. Now watch, he's going to come all the way around and get him from the backside. That's tough to do. Watch that speed. Rips up, good arm, rip up inside. Now, find a quarterback. I'll tell you right now, they have not been able to block Quentin Moses today.
So Seward back to punt again. Back to return is Asher Allen. He will field the punt at the 38. Dodges one white jersey. Now he's got some running room, and he is knocked out of bounds inside the Hilltopper 50-yard line at about the 46-yard line. Andre Lewis with the big-time hit. We'll come back to Athens after a word from our local stations. 34-7 game, 3:51 to go here in the 3rd quarter. While we're on the subject of Western Kentucky, the man up in the Western Kentucky radio booth in the black shirt, the Georgia basketball coach Dennis Felton, who came by way of Western Kentucky. And an interesting story is that he's actually offered Quentin Moses a basketball scholarship to play at Western Kentucky out of high school. Here's Joe Cox, who just checked in, airs it up, and it is picked off back at the 2-yard line by Travis Waters. A.J. Bryant was down there for the Bulldogs, but that pass just sailed to nowhere.
I didn't like it. I'll be honest with you. I don't like choice. And I'm sure that Mike Bobo and Tarashinsky, you see him number 13 stand there, he's telling him that's not a good choice. You see Blake Barnes was 15. He's in there. They had quite a duel, but that's a poor pass.
Well, the good news is, if you're a Georgia fan, is the fact that you gave it up and Western Kentucky's back at the 2. Big collision at about the 4-yard line as LaRon Moore gets a couple of hard-earned yards. Keelan Johnson from a safety position steps up.
And Dave, I want to tell you, I got a chance to talk to LaRon Moore yesterday, and what a neat guy. I mean, he was just a great kid.
First and 10 line brought to you by Titan Technology Partners, making IT right.
Yeah, he was telling me, I have to tell you this, he said his dad, Jimmy Moore, played for Ohio State. His last game was the same last game of Woody Hayes' last game. You remember that situational game but Woody Hayes was a marvelous coach, and he said, boy, my dad just sure loved him. What a neat guy to talk to.
There's LaRon getting hit by Danny Verdun wheelie. That's another maybe yard and a half on the play. With that, that'll bring up a 3rd down and 5 for the Hilltoppers, who are 2 out of 11 on 3rd down conversions.
All right, now you want to look for a play. Here's what I'm going to call. Signaling in now. Oh, you're looking there. Willie Martinez is looking over saying, well, they send it in. He's the defensive coordinator, but I would run Haddock's strong side. I'd bring him out of the pocket. I'd let him look down. I'd have a little curl at about 8 yards, and I'd have one at about 12 to 15. That means if I'm right, he's going this way, folks.
Haddock's to throw. Pass is caught by Hamilton. He's surrounded by a bunch of red jerseys. He needed to get to about the 12.5-yard line, and I think he was able to get just enough to move the chains. And yes, they will pick up the 1st down.
Boy, I almost said get the 1st down. When he catches the ball, he does a little curl right in there. He's got it now.
Where's he going to go, though?
I know.
He got 5 jerseys around.
I know, but
where's he going to go?
But see, we had the yellow line, so we knew he had to make that yellow line. Just get the 1st down.
Everywhere he turned, he saw a red jersey.
You're right. Oh, they swarmed to the ball. This is a well-coached, well-disciplined Georgia football team. Their fans are going to enjoy a great season.
A couple of tight ends for the Hilltoppers. Haddock's play action to Moore, rolls near side.
Got nobody out there to throw to.
And he is brought down by the freshman Darius Dewberry. Well, this fall, watch for the Geico College Football Campus Tour, a season-long traveling exhibit celebrating the 10 greatest running backs of all time. How do you narrow it down to 10? Go to lfsports.com for more information and to find out when Geico will be visiting a college campus near you.
I got one selection. Yeah, one from right. Well, hey, you know what? There may be 2 from right here when I start thinking of Herschel Walker and Garrison Hurst. I think Herschel, he'll be in there, don't you think?
You got to put Bo Jackson in there.
Oh, yeah, Bo's got to be in there. Bo knows.
2nd down and 8 for the Hilltoppers. Haddock's working to find some room, and that's dropped by the tight end, Bruneman.
God, yeah. What's that remind you of? look at Ugga 6 in there.
You know, they're celebrating 50 years of Ugga this season, of the Ugga chain. Ugga 6 is great. I think it's great. Might be 4 greats.
great.
Was Ugga 1. Was Ugga 1.
Ugga gets a lot of airtime, doesn't he? I mean, he's nice and cool in there. They closed the door. I thought I saw Buzz in there with him for a second.
That was Buzz. What are you talking about? People don't know. That was Buzz. 3rd down and 8. Looking up top for Hamilton, just off his fingertips. And Hamilton pulling up again. He might be cramping up on this hot, humid afternoon. Asher Allen on the coverage for the Bulldogs. Well, do you think it'd have what it takes to kick a field goal for $1 million? Bell South is giving one lucky contestant the chance to make a field goal at halftime of the 2006 Chick-fil-A Bowl to win up to $1 million. To register and complete details, be sure to log on to bellsouthsports.com. Bell South, listening, answering. $1 million.
I'd try it. I don't care what distance it's from.
Tanner Seward back to punt. Another short kick that sails out of bounds on that Georgia sidelines. They'll mark it at the 45, Western Kentucky territory. A punt of 29 yards. That'll do it for the third quarter, or the Bulldogs have stretched their lead by 3. 34-7 is our score from Athens. It's Matthew Stafford, the true freshman out of Dallas, Texas, is the third quarterback to be used today by the Georgia Bulldogs. His first play as a Bulldog goes to a handoff to Danny Ware, and that was the big question. If Mark Richt did use 3 quarterbacks today, would he go to Blake Barnes, the sophomore out of Mississippi, or would he go with the freshman out of Dallas, Texas? Well, that question has now been answered, and it looks as though that Stafford will not be redshirted unless there is some kind of injury situation throughout this season. And you see what he did in high school. One of the top 1 or 2 quarterbacks, depending on where you go, to come out of high school a year ago. The young man has got a rocket for an arm.
Wow.
And the fans here have been anxious to see him because of the show he put on in the spring game. He came in and rolled early, got here, played in the spring game, and put on a show.
Well, watch this show, this dart. That ball should have been caught. Goodman on that play, he needs to come down with this. Look at that ball. That ball's thrown right in there. That's a rope. And that's a tough one because you got that backer dropping into coverage, so you have to dart it in there. Let's watch his eyes as he comes up there. What's his leadership like?
Hands it off to Ware, the right side. Danny Ware's got room. He's still on his feet to the 10. Touchdown, Bulldogs. 41 yards for the junior out of Rockmart, Georgia.
Watch this block on the line of scrimmage right there, turning him out. That's Shackelford. Then he gets behind Velasco, and he's got the big guys. Now, cut back inside, pick up a block downfield. Boy, that's just outstanding. And you know what's amazing? He's listed as the 3rd team. Boy, they got depth at running back here at Georgia.
One after is good, and it's 41-7 Bulldogs. 14-12 to go in the game. Danny Ware. He and the other 2 running backs will be tough to stop in 06. Points of that game, so Vandy hang in there pretty tough on the road to open the season. Kickoff sails deep and out of the end zone. Dave Baker, right, it's coming out of the locker room at halftime. It says, you know, our defense has played well. We just haven't given up, we haven't given up any big plays. We've just given them short fields to work with, but he was not happy with their defense, and I think he could say the same thing right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Bulldogs leading the Hilltoppers. 13:53 to go in the fourth quarter. Western Kentucky looking at a 1st down and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Little play action. Haddock's going up top. Overthrew his intended target of Jesse Quinn. That'll bring up 2nd down. Quentin Moses will call it an afternoon. You see he and Charles Johnson standing next to each other, but Dave, Quentin Moses made his presence felt this afternoon.
Absolutely stuffing him in the line. You see him in the backfield there. Then he comes ripping around with that sack on that play all the way around the outside. Never gives up. He's got 6 tackles, 2 quarterback pressures, a sack. He deserves to stand over on the sideline.
In his final campaign, needs only 1 credit hour to graduate in December. I think he can accomplish that. The SEC academic honor roll member can handle 1 class, I think.
Yeah, 1 class.
Right.
It's wonderful. Is when you see student athletes like that, that just makes you feel good.
Tyrell Hayden, the true freshman out of Lexington, on the carry for Western Kentucky, brought down by Marcus Howard.
Now, this is what Georgia does so well, Dave, is when you get in a game like this, they bring a lot of players in. Looking at the numbers, I know you have to earn your keep trying to figure them out, but Mark Richt, he's trying to get players a lot of time, so when he loses them and first teams, those second team players are ready to play. He's got in there now Battle, 41. He's got Marcus Howard, 38. Gann is in there, so he's got a lot of second team players that are getting valuable experience.
Delay handoff goes to Hayden. Hayden out over the 30. They'll spot it at the 31, and that will be a first down, a gain of 7 for the true freshman.
This is a good run. Little eye draw lead right there, smack in there. That was a good lead block up front by Jared Johnson, number 40. Good play. That picks up a first down. Move the chains. You see where the yellow line is? They got to get to about the 40, maybe about the 40 and a half. Got to be aware of that. Just move chains. Try to be positive.
That's their 7th first down of the game. Here's Hayden again. He's got some room. Hayden to midfield. He steps out of bounds, though, back at the 47, and a late flag. Danny Verdun Wheeler came in with a late hit, and that'll be 15 for the Hilltoppers.
Gosh, that's a killer. Now, that is one that coaches will really get upset at. You'll see number 42, Verdun Wheeler, come in there. He's out of bounds. They blow the whistle. So right in here, you're going to see him step out right there. He's out of bounds. And you can't push him down. What he does is he actually doesn't hit him. He flings him. What?
After the play is over, personal foul. 42 on the defense. Penalty.
Their only penalty. He'll be quite pleased with that.
Yeah, it's not a spear out of bounds. I want to make sure people understand that. It's not a spear. It's a push out of bounds. And that's where players are out of control. They're going into the benches and things like that. So you're trying to protect the players. It's just an aggressive foul. It's something that happens in the play of the game.
Here's Haddix under center. Had good protection. Finally breaks down. Now he's got to break free, and he stumbles. Loses a couple on the play. Paul Oliver will get credit for the tackle.
You know what's interesting on that play is Oliver's the cornerback. He comes up inside the play, comes all the way around the backside. He never gave up. They really like this junior cornerback. He just comes up there, rolls all the way around, just pushes them down from back and gets a tackle.
You know, that secondary, missing Thomas Flowers, a great return man. Also, the defensive back suspended the first couple of games with some other Bulldog players. He's also a young man that can also return some kicks, but with what Mikey Henderson did today, 2 punt returns for 133 yards. That handoff goes to Hayden again, brought down by Darius Dewberry, the true freshman, 6'3", 225. As you look at our Hummer scoreboard, there is that final score. Michigan scores in the final minute to make it 27-7 over the Commodores. It was 13-7 at the break in Ann Arbor. Texas all over North Texas. That game in the 4th quarter. And Iowa with the same score that we have here over Montana, 41-7. Virginia Tech, 4 touchdowns already in the first 2 quarters of play. Western Kentucky, 4 out of 14 on 3rd downs this afternoon. They are facing another long 3rd down conversion. It's 3rd and 9.
Oh, a lot of pressure.
Haddix over the middle.
Oh, here comes a late flag.
A late flag came in as the helmet of Marcus Howard came flying off. Looked as though Jarvis Jackson may have had a deflection on that football in the middle of the field, and that's what Willie Martinez is saying right now. If that's pass interference, that ball was tipped.
Yeah. Yeah, once that ball is tipped like that, there can't be pass interference. Watch the ball right there. It's going to get tipped right there.
Or excuse me, Trey Battle, not 425, not 45.
Oh, you know what they're calling? I think they're calling a late hit. Watch right here. Bam. But he hit both guys. He hit his own guy harder than he hit Bird. Man, that's a stick. C.J. Bird in there.
There is no foul on the play. The Georgia player hit his own player. The play resulted in an incomplete pass.
Wait a minute. You can't get a penalty if you hit your own player?
Only in practice. Only in practice. Let's check in with Dave Baker.
Dave, I know that back when Roro played with the Raiders, it was a daily occurrence when somebody was cheap-shotting somebody on their own team, but the back judge threw the flag, saw the contact, saw the helmet, didn't see that it was 2 guys with the same jersey that ran into each other.
All right, but Buzz, would it have been a penalty if he'd hit the other guy? Absolutely.
No,
Come on.
The ball was tipped. The ball was tipped.
I'm talking about a cheap shot. That wasn't
There was no such thing as a cheap shot on the Raiders.
Thank you, sir.
The 10th punt by Tanner Seward.
Oh, what a punt!
That goes out at the 1-yard line. 36 yards on that kick. They'll mark it just outside the 1. We'll come back and see who's at the helm for the Bulldogs in a moment. Quarter, 10:25 to go, but they're backed up at the 1, and the true freshman Matthew Stafford has 99 yards in front of him. His second possession, he'll throw it out of the end zone. Looking up top, pass is just off the fingertips of Muhammad Massaquoi. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Let's check in with Dave Baker with an all-tell sideline report. Buzz.
Hey guys, one of the things that we need to tell you about, and you've seen the difference today, is the difference in scholarships. You've got Western Kentucky playing at the 1AA level. There's about a 20 scholarship difference, and I think the place where it really shows the most is on the special teams, but because of what's happened today. But Western is in the process. They're taking a university-wide look at moving up to 1A. They'll do that over the next 6 weeks. So they'll take a look at that over the next 6 weeks, Dave, and Dave Elson believes that's going to happen.
Well, Buzz, you paused to let us hear the situation there, and the holding in the end zone on Seth Watts, the sophomore out of Sandersonville, Georgia. Hate to say his name the only time today for a violation. You see Penn Wagers in that end zone. He didn't want to throw it, but he had to. You looked at him like, son, I hate to do this to you, but
well, what
you
he
can't
did,
tackle the guy.
Yeah, what he did is, as we watched it there, you can see him. He just turned and pulled him down. He got penetration. He got that arm up underneath, and he just grabbed him and rolled him down. It's what those offensive linemen do all the time to us. Nice, clean playing defensive players. Right, friend?
Well, Mark Richt will not be happy about that, as the safety will force Georgia to kick it away to Western Kentucky. The Bulldogs will use the kicking tee on this kick after a safety. It'll be Brandon Coutu. Shot Etheridge back deep. Along with Tyrell Hayden. But it will be Etheridge. Etheridge out to the 30, to the 33, and the 34 before he is dropped down. Well, register now for your chance to win the Aaron's College. So 1st and 10 for the Hilltoppers. Clock moves, 9:45 here in the 4th quarter.
All right, Justin Haddix, let's see what you can do at quarterback.
Haddix pass is thrown to Jesse Quinn. He'll pick up 7 on the play. Haddix numbers today, 11 out of 25 for 109 yards, 1 touchdown.
And now, Dave, if you look at that defense, Georgia's got a lot of second-team players in there, getting them reps, getting that experience. You want to step up and have a chance to play first team, you got to play well when you get the opportunity, and this is their opportunity.
Handoff goes to Hayden. Off the left side, gets maybe a yard.
Well, I really like the way that Georgia is. They're coached very well. They play straight up football, man on man. They don't dive at the football. They slide their feet, work to the ball. I know it's hot out there. I know it's tired, but you got to slide to the football. The easy thing is to start to reach, but they don't. They play right in the face of the man, nose to nose.
Haddix, the senior, out of Jackson, Kentucky. He had 82 yards on the ground last year against the Auburn Tigers. Big collision at the line of scrimmage. And we'll see if that's good enough for the first down. Well, the announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Lincoln Financial Sports. This broadcast is a copyright presentation. Any use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Lincoln Financial Sports is prohibited. So Hayden does pick up a hard yard and a half. Hayden today on the ground, 7 carries, 36 yards. LaRon Moore, 13 for 39, or make that 29 yards. Haddock 6 carries for -10. Here's Hayden. He will pick up another first down as he breaks into that Georgia secondary, brought down by Asher Allen.
Well, good block there. The guard pulling out to get outside. I think it was 77, Sean Pugh. Came around the outside, locked into 91. Weston just kind of worked him around, got a good block inside, locked him inside, and allowed him to get to the outside and pick up yardage. What makes a wide play work is when you can lock that outside end there, that linebacker that's got that force. You lock him down, don't give him penetration, you can get to corner.
Fresh set of downs for the Hilltoppers. Out of the eye. They'll give it to the true freshman again.
Now there's just the opposite on that play, Dave. You saw the penetration in the backfield. They came up, they locked the corner. They couldn't get the outside, and you saw him just running parallel the line. Watch this. See the penetration in the backfield? Look, now he keeps on bending around. You never get to the outside. You didn't lock down number 52, Dewberry, and he made the tackle.
Boy, Willie Martinez, he talks a lot about players when the light comes on. Some guys it takes a year, some guys 2, some guys 3. Charles Johnson, it took a couple of years for his light to come on. But he said that with Darius Dewberry, this true freshman, the light was on when he showed up.
Yeah, when he came into camp.
Yeah, right.
And that's really interesting. And talking to Quentin Moses, he said, you know who brought his light on? David Pollock.
Big hit from Brian Evans on the fullback, Brandon Hicks. Actually, they will. Are they saying that's an incomplete pass? They will say it's an incomplete pass. So that'll stop the clock. 6:21 to go in the game. They ruled that Brandon Hicks never had possession after the big hit by Evans. Evans, a redshirt freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida, getting a lot of snaps today. By the way, Western Kentucky getting $400 grand for coming down here to Athens this afternoon to play some football, and 1AA team. Yeah, their total football budget is $2.2 million.
Yep.
Georgia's football budget $12.5 million. Addicts to throw. Pass is caught wide open at the 30-yard line. Was Jesse Quinn. Georgia playing a soft zone, allowing some of those 10, 15-yard routes to pop open.
But doesn't Quinn do a good job looking the ball in? Watch this. It's actually thrown behind him. Look at the concentration. He was slipping, falling down. Again, watch the concentration. Look that ball in. Feet out from underneath him. Ball thrown behind him. Good concentration. That's what they're going to build on. The Hilltoppers are going to have to build on those positive plays, the ones that got yardage.
Western Kentucky and Justin Haddix, they've thrown for 126 yards on the day. That's more than the Bulldogs. Haddix, though, dropped by Jeff Owens, the sophomore. He's had a tip pass today, a couple of pressures. Good stop right there. A lot of action tonight. Some early scores, though, on our Hummer scoreboard show the Commodores go down by 20 up in Ann Arbor. Tough place to start your season, but they had a pretty good showing against the 14th ranked team in the country. Texas out in front, Iowa out in front as well. That game now a final. Virginia Tech 28-0 in the third. Western Kentucky takes a timeout with 5:13 to go in this one. We'll return after this message from Pontiac in the G. 41-9 over the Hilltoppers, as Western Kentucky has gone to a new quarterback. It's the freshman Brandon Smith out of Danville, Kentucky, taking over for Justin Haddix. He hands it off to Tyrell Hayden. Keelan Johnson with his 6th stop of the afternoon from his safety position. He also has a fumble recovery and an interception.
We talked about him being one of those questionable players. No question about him right now. And that was a good evidence right there. Stayed in there, stayed square, slid along, looked really, really well.
You see Justin Haddix, the senior out of Jackson, Kentucky, being worked on by that Hilltopper training staff. Justin has started 36 straight games, every game since he's been there at Western Kentucky, and they've got a big one next week at Eastern Kentucky. They call that the Battle of the Bluegrass, the longest running in-state rivalry. And Smith is dropped at the 27-yard line by Marcus Washington.
Boy, how about Brandon Smith making him miss? That was a good little fake right there with that head. Come back inside, pick up some positive yards. He faked old Jerry Lomax out.
Look at the Bulldogs and what they have coming up. All eyes will turn to Columbia. I think that is a big game for both clubs in that really I think that's when you find out who's for real, who has a chance to be a contender in the SEC East. I don't think we really learned much from South Carolina. In that opening win against Mississippi State. Chris James connects. 45 yards. Western Kentucky now down 41-12. Well, after the field goal by Chris James from 45 yards, his career long is 52. He's been an exceptional field goal kicker. The junior out of Fayetteville, Georgia. He's got a lot of family here on hand, I'm sure. Kicks off, taken by Asher Allen, about a yard deep. Asher had some great success in high school as a return man. Takes it to the 34-yard line. We'll go to Yahoo Sports to see over 50, who I'm sure Mark Rick said if we were going to use him would hope to get more snaps than what he has seen. The holding in the end zone resulted in a safety after one play on Georgia's last possession. Here's Stafford out in the open field. Changes hands. Picks up the first down.
You know what Stafford did on that play, Dave, that was really interesting? He set up his blocker. He took a little inside shot. And what he did, he set up his blocker. Now watch this right here. Time. He's out of time. Now you got to get out. Now watch this little dip back inside right there. See his blocker right there? He locked him up. The outside, that got him an extra 15 yards just by that little move.
So a gain of 18 for Stafford. 1st and 10. Hands it off to Danny Ware. He spins down to the 40-yard line. Danny Ware is the team's leading rusher, now 6 carries on the afternoon for 67 yards.
What I like Danny Ware's running style, boy, I mean, it's tough. He's hard-nosed in there.
Clock moves to 2:21. Georgia will head over to South Carolina after this game, and they'll still have to be a little shy of some of the depth they had hoped for because of some suspensions.
Oh, I thought he caught that.
Pass caught by the true freshman Chris Durham. Dennis Mitchell on the coverage. Nice catch by Durham.
That wasn't about an inch off the ground. You talk about looking down. Watch this, left of your screen. Watch him go down for that ball. Got both hands in. The official in good position to make the call. Right down on the ground. But he got his hands up underneath. Again, look how low that ball is. No, watch right there. Ooh, you know what? But the official, you see where the official is right there? He's in great position to make the call, so I'll go along with the official.
Play action for Stafford. Throws over the middle. Pass is caught by the freshman Durham again. Freshman to freshman. Durham, a tall, lanky young lad, 6'5", 200. Showing some pretty good hands. Gain of 16.
Boy, and Joe Stafford is showing me poise in the pocket. Doesn't look like a freshman. Look at that ball. That's a tough catch in there. You're coming in. You've got that strong safety rotating over there. Boy, Mr. Stafford is doing a job.
2 out of 4, 27 yards for Matthew.
He wants more.
Looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Coleman Watson, the junior out of Atlanta, with the 13-yard TD reception. That drive was all about the freshman quarterback, Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, you said he needed some more reps. Well, he got him on this one. But watch the ball come off his hand. It's just a flick. It doesn't have to look at it. See, he's just throwing with all arm. He's got great arm strength and just flicks that ball in there. almost looks effortless. It just doesn't look like he's really struggling back there. He just, bing, just delivers it.
Coutue's point after is up and good. (48-12) with 60 seconds to go. Davey had plenty of time and really just threw it to a space, anticipating that Watson was going to turn around and be there, and it worked in the Bulldog favor.
Yeah, he read the pattern really well. He saw, he threw it before Watson made that turn, Dave. And look at him, big time quarterback. Just you see that pumped fist. You're right, it was all about Stafford on that play.
Well, today's Lincoln Financial Group players, we'll go with Curtis Hamilton for Western Kentucky. He left the game here in the fourth quarter with some cramps, but he had some big plays and returned a lot of kickoffs, 4 receptions and a touchdown. Quentin Moses for Georgia, total of 6 tackles today, a sack, a couple of quarterback pressures. He and Charles Johnson combined today for 10 tackles, 3 pressures and a sack. Pretty good production from those 2 defensive ends. And once again, as we said, if Charles Johnson can play at the level he did early in this game all season long, Quentin Moses will continue to rise up that Georgia tackle for loss list and sack list. Scholarship fund of the 12 member institutions of the SEC. Hello, future.
Let's just keep on lining up defensive ends, don't they, here? Pollock, Moses, Johnson, man.
Rashad Etheridge on the return for the Hilltoppers, gets it out over the 20 to the 21. Next week we will have a chance to Eastern 11 Central. Of course, a lot of activity tonight. I can't wait to get home. Mary Margaret, I'm telling you right now, don't talk to me. We've got games at 5:45 till about 1. I'll be busy.
Got the tape machine on a couple of.
Don't bother me.
Don't bother me.
Right.
Put the kids to bed early.
I talked to Mike Bobo, the quarterback coach at Georgia. He said the same thing. He's got everybody in. Of course, he's got triplets. And an older child as well. So he's got 4 kids at home. But he says he's brought reinforcements. He's got aunts, uncles, grandparents coming in, because when he gets home after this one, he's sitting down in front of the TV, because you've got some great games involving SEC teams. Tennessee, Auburn going at it, Arkansas as well tonight. Of course, just down the road in Atlanta, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame. Should be a lot of fun if you're a college football fan tonight. Under 10 seconds to go. And this will be the final play of the game. And the Georgia Bulldogs will go to 1-0 on the year with the win over Western Kentucky. Mark Richt picks up his 53rd win as the Georgia Bulldog head coach, 53-13. Now the attention will turn to South Carolina. 48-12 is our final score from Athens. We'll return after this. Georgia wins at 48-12 as they hoisted the 2005 SEC championship banner before today's game. They would finish the afternoon with a 48-12 victory. So for my partner, Dave Rowe, and Dave Baker and the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Neal saying so long, everybody. We'll see you next Saturday from Starkville. You have been watching Lincoln Financial Sports exclusive coverage of Southeastern Conference football.